So we're going to be learning how to remove pops, B's and P's and excess audio pressure on a microphone after in Adobe Audition. Adobe Audition is part of the Creative Cloud, so if you're using Premiere Pro, you will have access to Adobe Audition. There are two ways that you can import your video files from the video that you're wanting to fix the audio. Either you can import directly into Adobe Audition like I did. You just go on File, Import File, find the video file that you want to import and say Open. It's going to open like this. This was shot on an FS7, so it has 4 tracks of audio, but only 2 of the tracks were used. I was using a Sony microphone. I'm not sure what kind of Sony was the client's microphone. Or you can go into Premiere, right-click on the clip and say Edit in Adobe Audition, and only the 2 tracks files are going to come. This was monitored in camera, so it's very hard to monitor the audio peaks. So as we can see here, and I'm pressing the plus sign on the keyboard to expand my my wave tracks here, so I can see the waveforms. As we can see here, there's a couple of places that the audio was clipped or distorted, because again, was an in-camera monitoring, so you don't really have basically any tools to fix this, but it's a lot cheaper just to put it right into in-camera monitor, and a lot faster too. And the clips are not critical because it's just a side conversation.
That's less. Just so forget the Europe stuff. Forget the Europe stuff.
You can bring that in, but like
Got it. Yeah, got it. Okay, start over.
So just side conversation. We really don't have to use it. But here I actually there are a few clicks. We're gonna show how to remove those clicks and cracks later. So this one,
Although it may be a good,
I'm not sure what this one it is.
although it may be a good,
And this is a very straightforward fix because it's an isolated click.
although it may.
So basically, to remove this click, which the client may have touched the microphone or something fell on set, I don't know really what that click was, but this, as it is isolated, it's not within the speech per se of the client. You're just having your selection tool, time selection tool selected here. You press T on your keyboard. You just click on the timeline, hold, drag it over the click, and then on a PC you can right click, on a Mac you can control click, and you go and say or you select silence. So it's removed. There's nothing.
Although it may
be a big silence.
Although it may be
It is labor intensive. There is a process to remove those cracks later. We're gonna go talk about it later. Now on this video, what I'm focusing on is removing the P's and B's, or acting as a pop filter. So right here, let's expand this timeline a little bit more. Right here we see that the waveform has a kind of a weird format, and this is the format that you're looking when you see a P or a B. Let's see if you can hear it.
they'll set aside bad debt they'll set aside bad debt
So it's a bad debt. So it's a B that was that had too much air pressure for the microphone.
they'll set aside bad debt
And this is the very typical and characteristic format of excess noise pressure, and so it's going over 0 decibels, and it has this weird beef or pop, as we say in audio engineering. It's fairly easy to fix it. We will select all the range here that seems to be affected by this this B, bad dat here. It's everything selected. We go on Effects, Filter and EQ, FFT filter, or you just press F on your keyboard and it shows up. And this is the audio range, so it's showing you from 20 Hertz all the way to 20,000 Hertz and maybe a little bit above. This is what the hearing spectrum is able to hear. 20 to 200 it's low sounds, 200 to about 601 kilohertz is mid-range, and anything above 1 kilohertz is the highs. So the P's and the B's, the pops, are low range affected. So I made a sharp cut here. This is a logarithm. So as you can see here, this is the pressure, right? 0 decibels and up, and 0 decibels and down. So anything at 0 decibels or down all the way to 200 hertz, it will be kept intact. Anything below 200 hertz is just absolutely cut. We are just cutting the sound pressure of this to nothing, to 0. You can create a logarithm curve on this FFT filter, but that's not what I want. I want to make a sharp cut here on 200. We can play and see how it sounds. So what and you can see here that the sound pressure is being completely crushed below 200, but we still, at 200, we still hear a little bit of a pressure on the B. And I don't want that. So I can, oops, I don't want to create a new point here. I can just grab this point here and kind of move it a little bit more towards my my 400 here. Let's see now. And you may see, hey, hold on a second, now it's starting to sound weird. That's okay because it's just one syllable. But let's play and actually, no pun intended, let's play with the hertz scale here to see which one fits better. So it's a little bit less than 300 hertz. It sounds fine. It basically removed that pressure. So we're just going to go say apply. And you can see here that the waveform has been immediately corrected. And if we play,
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserves.
There's a little bit there still.
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserves.
It's almost imperceptible. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, we can select this again here. Press F on the keyboard. Push this a little bit forward and say apply. And let's play.
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserves.
And now it's a little bit weird on the other side. So you have to play with what makes it comfortable. Again, the end user will not really pay attention to that. As long as you don't have this big pop going on, they're not going to really know what's going on.
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserves.
Yeah, I would probably undo that.
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserve.
And push it just a little bit more. I think I was too aggressive. Let's go here, F, and let's play. Oh, actually, I need to go back here, right? Go back. Let's play here.
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserves.
There you go.
I mean, they'll set aside bad debt reserves.
Perfect. And that's how you remove your pops.